Welcome. This is the Bicyclist and Pedestrian Count online training. My name is Tracy Lipfert, an intern with FC Moves and manager of the counts. In this presentation, I will cover why we do bicyclist and pedestrian counts, review our overall approach for the count, review our trail count instructions, as well as our bicyclist intersection count instructions, and what you will need for your 2-hour count. So why does the City of Fort Collins conduct bicyclist and pedestrian counts? Basically, what gets counted counts. The data we collect by observing bicyclists and pedestrians helps us justify investments in bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure, as well as prioritize improvements in this infrastructure. The data also helps us better understand traveler behavior. Our data collection methods are based on the National Bicycle and Pedestrian Documentation Project, which is a research-driven best practice for bicyclist and pedestrian counts. By following these guidelines, our data can add to their body of bicycle and pedestrian information. The City of Fort Collins conducts a bicyclist and pedestrian count each year based on the NBPD project guidance. This year we have 26 count locations throughout the city. There are 11 trail locations where both bicyclists and pedestrians are counted, and 15 on-street intersection locations where only bicyclists are counted. This year's count will be held on Tuesday the 15th, Thursday the 17th, and Saturday the 19th of September. Trail and intersection counts will be conducted on Tuesday and Saturday, and Thursday will only have trail counts. There are a variety of 2-hour count times being held, one in the morning from 7 to 9 a.m., in the afternoon from noon to 2, and in the evening from 5 to 7 p.m. There are also a few count location changes this year. We've added 2 intersection counts to the Campus West area, one on Springfield and City Park, and one on Heather Ridge and Linwood. We've also added 1 trail count location on the Mason Trail near Spring Creek to validate one of our automated counters. In addition to this, we are not doing an intersection count on Laurel and Remington due to the current construction that's going on here. So now let's dive into our trail count instructions. Each of you will get a map of your count location and instructions along with your count forms. Pictured here are instructions specific to the trail count. This form provides the details on what to do for your count and my contact information if anything comes up. Plan on arriving to your trail count location 5 to 10 minutes early so you can get set up and familiarize yourself with the directions, which direction is north, south, east, and west. You will need to know this so you can note the direction of travel for trail users. Once you arrive at your location, you will text or call me to let me know you've arrived. Make sure you include your name and your count location in this message. My phone number is listed here on this form. At your count location, you will create an imaginary line crossing the trail. This will be your screen line. Any users that cross your screen line will be counted. The red line that crosses the trail here represents your screen line. Make sure that you're not sitting or standing on the trail. We want to make sure that we are not blocking any users. Here's what your trail count form looks like. You will start by filling out the information at the top of your form. Please circle your count date and time period. You will also write down your name and circle the characteristics for what the weather is like that day. You can circle more than one if it's appropriate, like if it's sunny and hot. There's also a notes section where you can add any information you feel like we should know. When your count time period has begun, you will proceed with your 2-hour count in 15-minute increments. Each 15 minutes has its own box where you can place your tally marks. During this period, you will count the number of people and their direction of travel, either eastbound, westbound, northbound, or southbound. For bicyclists, count the number of people on a bicycle. Sometimes there may be more than one, like on tandem bikes. Also, make sure to count people in bike trailers. You are counting the number of people, not the number of bicycles. You will also be collecting data on walkers, runners, and joggers. Walkers include people in wheelchairs or using other assistive devices like children in strollers, besides just people walking down the path. If someone is obviously jogging or running, make a note of it in the running or jogging column. If it looks like the person was running or jogging and is just taking a break to walk, also put them in this category. People using equipment like skateboards, rollerblades, horseback riders should be included in the other category. You will also note the gender of the trail user by placing tally marks in the male or female column. At the bottom of the form, you will tally the number of bicyclists wearing helmets, as well as dogs on and off leash. And new to this form this year is a tally for e-bikes. So let's talk about e-bikes. E-bikes are bicycles with a motor assist. There are a variety of different styles. Here at the top of this page, there are 2 riders using a trailer called RideKick. This trailer provides an electric motor assist to propel the rider. So you may see some of these riders on the trail. Below are other forms of e-bikes. Some notable characteristics of e-bikes are these large hubs that are on the front or rear wheel, so you may notice those on bikes. On the silver bike to the left of your screen, you can see this very large seat tube that's housing the electric motor and battery for the e-bike. So if you notice things like that and you're certain that what you're looking at is an e-bike, make a note of it in the e-bike box. However, if you're uncertain that it's an e-bike or have any doubt, just mark them down as a normal bicyclist. But if you're certain it's an e-bike, like maybe you hear the motor or you see these characteristics or you're familiar with e-bikes, make a note of it in the e-bike box. Also, several trail count locations will be located near automated trail counters. If you're at one of these trail locations, the data you collect will also help us validate the trail counter to ensure they're accurately counting users. Here are some pictures of a trail counter on the Poudre Trail. Basically, it is a gray box with a hole on the side of it. You can see it here in this picture. The hole is where the counter collects data. If you notice a trail counter in your trail location, stand near it and use it to create your imaginary screen line. Make sure that you're not blocking the hole on the side of the box, as this would prevent the counter from collecting user data. We don't want that to happen. Here's a screen line that I'm using based off of the automated trail counter here on this post. So you can do that if you're near one of these. So let's review the data you will collect on the trail. You will count bicyclists, walkers, runners and joggers, and other users like skateboarders and horseback riders. While you're doing this, you will also be noting the gender of the users and their direction of travel, like eastbound, westbound, northbound, or southbound. You also take note of helmet use and whether dogs are on leash or off leash. And then lastly, we are collecting data on e-bikes. Once you've completed your trail count, your form will look similar to this. The top of the form can be completed with your name, date, time period, attributes about the weather. And then your boxes, your 15-minute boxes, will be totaled at the top with a number, and that number will be circled. This makes it a lot easier for us to count your data. So make sure you do that for us. That helps us out a lot. At the bottom of your form, you will add the totals of all your 15-minute boxes for each category. This is also where you'll tally helmet use, dogs on and off leash, and e-bikes. Please circle the total in all these boxes as well. You can see the bottom numbers there with the circles around them. That really helps us out. Now let's discuss the bicyclist intersection count instructions. Like the trail count, intersection count volunteers will get a map of their location and count instructions. This here is an image of the intersection count instructions. This form will again provide you with the details on what to do for your count and my contact information if anything comes up. This is what the intersection bicyclist count form will look like. It may look complicated at first, but the form is really pretty intuitive. With intersection counts, remember that only bicyclists are being counted. So plan to arrive at your count location 5 to 10 minutes before your count time. When you arrive at your location, it is best to stand in the southeast corner and face north. When you stand in this position, your count form will match the intersection you see in front of you. So if you look at the screen here, you notice this star here in the bottom, this bottom corner here, that is where we would like you to stand. On your bicyclist intersection count form, you will collect data on the bicyclist's direction of travel, either they're traveling southbound, westbound, northbound, or eastbound, their turning movements, so this is left turns, right turns, and through movements. We'd also like you to collect data on helmet use, gender, and e-bikes. And again, remember, we're not collecting any data on pedestrians. Just a reminder, this is what e-bikes are like. You may see bicyclists with a trailer in the back. That is the ride kick, providing bicyclists with an electric assist. And then these other forms of e-bikes at the bottom, the large hubs and the wheels, the large seat tubes housing the batteries and the electric motors, or you may hear the sounds of the electric motor. If you notice any of that, please make a note of it in your e-bikes tally box. So let's discuss how you will collect data on bicyclist turning movements and direction of travel. Remember, the easiest way to fill out the form is if you're standing in the southeast corner of the intersection facing north. There is a compass on your intersection diagram to help you with the direction. Each box represents a turning movement and a direction of travel. And these boxes are titled A1 through 3, D1 through 3, C1 through 3, and so on. But you do not need to be concerned with what the letters and the numbers mean. Just look at the arrows for each box. The arrows represent the turning movement. So let's go through an example. When you have a bicyclist riding southbound through the intersection, this is a bicyclist that's moving towards you if you're standing in the southeast corner and facing north. You will make a tally in the through movement box. This box is A2. Again, you don't have to be concerned with the letters and the numbers. Basically, you're putting the tally mark where the bicyclist starts in the intersection and where their direction of travel is going. So this was a southbound through bicyclist. We're putting one tally mark in the A2 box. When you have a bicyclist going westbound, this is represented by the orange arrow here. If they're going westbound through the intersection, you will mark the box where they come from. Again, this will be box B2. You can see the arrow there pointing to the west in the same direction where that orange arrow went. So you will put your tally mark in the B2 box. If you have a bicyclist riding eastbound and making a right turn, represented by this red arrow, you will tally in the eastbound right turn box labeled D3. There's the tally mark entering D3. If you have a bicyclist that is riding southbound and making a left turn, represented by this blue arrow, you will make a tally mark in the box labeled A1. There you can see the tally mark in the box A1. And again, this is for the left turn for a bicyclist that's moving through the intersection, headed southbound and making a left turn. Other situations to be aware of are bicyclists using the crosswalk. If you see this, mark their movement based on what their intent is, either a through movement, a left turn, or a right turn. For example, if you have a bicyclist, represented by this red arrow, riding northbound using the crosswalk to go through the intersection, you would make a tally mark in box C2. There you can see the tally mark in C2, where you would normally see a northbound through cyclist being marked. If a bicyclist is headed southbound on the crosswalk and then made a left and continued on the crosswalk, you would place a tally in the southbound left turn box A1. You can notice that the little black arrow by my tally mark matches the southbound left turn arrow, indicating that that cyclist was making basically that left turn as if they were going through the intersection. So in addition to noting these turning movements, we also would like you to collect data on helmet use, male and female cyclists, and then the e-bikes. And this table is found at the bottom of your form here. So if you would make tally marks for turning movements on the intersection diagram, and then also tallies for this information at the bottom of your sheet, that would be great. So by the end of your counting shift, your form may look similar to this. With tally marks in each of the turning movement boxes, you would total each of these turning movement boxes and then circle the total amount in each box. And then the bottom of your form has tally marks for bicyclists wearing helmets, female cyclists, male cyclists, and e-bikes, and all of those totals are circled as well. And do remember that you will also be filling out the top of your form with the appropriate date, time, and weather conditions. And any notes you feel like we should be aware of. So what will you need for your counts? You'll need to bring your count instructions, count form, count location map, a pen or a pencil with spares. Make sure to bring spares in case one of your pens or pencils fails. It's nice to have a backup, otherwise you're just stranded out there. Also make sure you bring a timepiece. This could be your phone or it could be a wristwatch. Make sure you have something to tell time in 15-minute increments. And then make sure you bring things that will help you be comfortable for 2 hours. So you're welcome to bring a chair, bring a clipboard to help you take your tally marks, bring a hat for good weather, sunny weather. Make sure you bring sunscreen, bring a jacket in case it gets cold. It could rain, so you may want to bring a rain jacket or maybe an umbrella, snacks, water, all those sorts of things. So plan ahead and make sure that you're comfortable for all kinds of weather conditions. Once you're finished with your count, you're going to return your count forms, ideally 1 business day after you've finished up your count, and you're going to return that to the FC Moves office. Our office is located on the corner of College and Maple at 281 North College Avenue. You are welcome to email me. You can scan your documents and send them to me at tlipford@fcgov.com. And everyone who turns in their completed forms will be entered for a chance to win one of 40 Downtown Business Association gift cards. So there's a little of an incentive for you guys to return your forms in a timely manner. So I'm going to leave with this picture of one of our volunteers from our 2014 count. We are really excited for you guys to volunteer with us this year. Thank you for your time and listening to this presentation. If you have any questions at all or you would like more information, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can use my phone at 970-224-6112 or email at tlipford@fcgov.com. I look forward to working with all of you.